Commissioner Brassad. Here. Commissioner Reinert.
Here.
Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Commissioner Jepson.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
And we're all present and accounted for. Move down to consider accepting the regular claims paid for over $500 and the purchase card claims paid for the period ending June 28th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brassad. Do I have a second?
Second.
Been seconded by Commissioner Schulte. Any questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Next item is the minutes, to approve the minutes from the June 25th, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Schulte, seconded by Commissioner Meisner. Any changes anybody might have or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 6, excuse me, is the chair's remarks. And this morning, we have two items. First one is to consider, for informational purposes, recognition of the Anoka County Sheriff's Office Deputy Tanner Shipman for receiving the 2024 Officer of the Year Award. We have the sheriff here as well, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Commissioner Brassad as the Chair of Public Safety to tell us more about the award and to introduce our guests. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, this is really an exciting moment. I had asked that Deputy Shipman if he was comfortable with us recognizing what had happened, which I'm going to go into a little more detail, but it's really fun to have you here and see some of your peers here to support you as well. So our very own Anoka County Sheriff's Deputy Tanner Shipman was honored June 15th of 2024 with the 2024 Officer of the Year Award for his heroic off-duty actions during the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota last summer. While on vacation, Shipman came across a suspect shooting a gun at a South Dakota state trooper. Shipman retrieved a family member's handgun and moved to assist the trooper who had fallen to the ground. Shipman identified himself as law enforcement and saw the suspect getting into the trooper's vehicle. A shootout ensued and the suspect later surrendered and was arrested. Shipman provided medical care to the suspect, who survived his injuries and later pled guilty to charges related to the incident. Literally something out of a movie. I mean, I get chills. And as a motorcycle rider, I can just picture your group just enjoying motorcycling and Sturgis and this all unfolding in front of you. I'm just really glad you were there. In Deputy Shipman's nomination letter for the award, Anoka County Sheriff Brad Wise wrote, Shipman exhibited bravery, selfless service, concern for others, swift decision-making, and commitment to justice. This well-deserved award is the highest honor a member of law enforcement can receive, as it comes from the law enforcement peers throughout Minnesota. Deputy Shipman has worked for the Anoka County Sheriff's Office for 18 years and is currently assigned to the Patrol Division. He is also a field training officer and a member of the Mobile Field Force. MPPOA Executive Director Brian Peters noted Deputy Shipman's actions were nothing less than heroic. He not only protected the public from a dangerous armed felon, but ran towards gunfire to protect the life of a trooper. Deputy Shipman's willingness to act, his calm composure and professionalism during this event ensured a positive outcome. So I've got goosebumps. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm so proud that Tanner is an Anoka County guy. So I'll turn over to Sheriff Wise and to the deputy for a few words.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Brassad, Chair, Commissioners. We're clearly very proud of Deputy Shipman. He's an example of the kind of women and men that serve the citizens of Anoka County. And they should know that while he was the person that stepped up in that time of need, there are other deputies that are wearing that brown uniform that are ready to step in at a moment's notice to make a difference for others. The trooper, the South Dakota State Trooper, literally has Deputy Shipman to thank for his life. The video exists out there now that the court case has been settled, so I encourage people to take a look at it. But you would be able to see how frightening the event was. And he, Deputy Shipman, exemplifies the kind of person who ran towards the danger without even thinking twice, with no hesitation. I had the honor of driving out to Pierre, South Dakota, as the South Dakota State Patrol, as you might imagine, recognized Deputy Shipman for his bravery at a time of need, because they clearly recognized that their trooper probably wouldn't have survived the incident had it not been for him stepping into that circumstance. So I literally don't want to detract from Deputy Shipman. Maybe you have some questions that you want to shoot to him. But this MPPOA award, like I said, is the highest award in my mind that somebody can receive, because it's your peers saying, my gosh, you're exceptional. I've been around in law enforcement in Anoka County for 30 years. This is the first time I've ever heard of an incident like this. And that Tanner literally just said, I'm not going to let this happen without intervening, is amazing. So I'll let Deputy Shipman speak.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me here. It was the day of the incident. There was not a question in my mind what I was about to do. My thought process, I'd want somebody to do the same thing if I was found in the same situation. Right time, right place. I'm a guy of faith. I felt protected that day. Why my life was spared, and the trooper and the shooter, no idea why. But I was just glad I was there. I didn't get into the job for the accolades, or it's a calling for me. So I just felt like I just did the right thing at the right time. So if you have any questions, go ahead. I don't mind answering. Sure. If not, that's okay too.
I was going to say, you very much did the right thing, and the video, I have seen the video and watched it a few times, and it's pretty amazing. It really is. And anyone that knows me knows public safety is like my #1 priority. So to have someone from one of our own step up like this, especially at a time when law enforcement is really, sometimes frowned upon. We'll work our hardest to make sure in Anoka County that doesn't happen. And we want to be there and be good partners and provide you with training and whatever you need. So keep up the great work. And personally, I pray over our law enforcement in Anoka County on a regular basis. So I think you were exactly where you were meant to be at that moment.
Thank you. Commissioner Jepson.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for representing Anoka County so professionally, humbly, and expertly. In hindsight, we label people as brave and as heroes. And listening and watching you speak right now, your selfless humility probably doesn't think of yourself as brave or as a hero, but the rest of us do. And that is something that you should wear with positive pride and honor, because this is a momentous day for all of us and for you. And I'm honored that you're part of our team and on our streets and in our cars and our buildings to protect us like you did that gentleman in South Dakota. So thank you so much.
You bet. It's my pleasure. And to kind of go off of what the sheriff was saying, I work with a lot of people that would have done the same thing. It's a testament to the people that train us. And that day, all the use of force training, medical training was all put into play in one event. And I hope that when you guys do watch the video, it's a really good representation of the training and the quality of law enforcement in Anoka County, specifically the sheriff's office, puts out there for the community.
Commissioner Reiner.
So now, having met you, you're probably going to hate this, but I think we should all give you a round of applause.
Oh, thanks. It has been hard to get all the notoriety and stuff, because I'm not a spotlight person. Sure. I just do what I took an oath to do, and I'm just playing it out, so. But
Well, you
thank
deserve it. Thank you for your service.
My
Thank you very
pleasure.
much. Anyone else? Yeah, I just wanted to thank you very much for that. It's quite an event that occurred, and you happened to be there at the right place, like you said, at the right time, and, but you stepped up, so you deserve a great deal of credit for that, so thank you very much. And I'm sure the sheriff is, as he said, very proud of you, and the sheriff's department here represented, you can see all the faces here in the crowd today, have always been top-notch. For a number of years, working on budgets in the city of Andover, as we hired the sheriff's department every year to cover our city. It was always something to be proud of, to see the work that they did every single year for the city of Andover, and I appreciated it a great deal, and I always appreciated the support that they gave us. So thank you, Sheriff, and thank you to all your team as well. And we'll move on to our second item today, which is to give you an update on the Anoka County Fair. Today, the county's annual Rite of Summer will be in full swing in about 2 weeks. This year, the Anoka County Fair runs from Tuesday, July 23rd to Sunday, July 28th. I think all of us here on the board are very familiar with the offerings of the fair, and it's always a great experience. Whether you've been there every year for decades or if this is the first year you plan to attend the fair includes a variety of delicious foods, rides, and the always popular tractor pull. And of course, plenty of gifted musicians will share their talents on stage throughout the fair. Our county departments also have staff working booths at the fair, so this is a great opportunity to learn about many of the services Anoka County residents offer, or Anoka County offers to our residents. Mike Ehlers, president of Anoka County Fair, and fair manager Michaela Liebel, join us now to talk about what to expect at this year's Anoka County Fair. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Well, one thing you can expect is to have a great time and great weather. We've already planned the weather out. It's gonna be perfect this year. We did switch up our lineup a little bit for our grandstand this year. I mean, I'll tell a little bit about the grandstand events, and then Michaela can tell you some of the other stuff that's going on, like in our ag education building and stuff. But Tuesday, normally we had motocross, and we've had that for decades. So we've switched it up, and we're gonna go to the Big Air event. And so they're kind of like stunt drivers on motorcycles and four-wheelers, so they're gonna do jumps. They're even gonna do some backflips on it, so it's pretty exciting to do that. Wednesday, we're gonna have our bull riding. It's always a great crowd. We backed that up with some country music bands and the band shell and stuff on Wednesday, so that's always a good thing. Thursday and Friday, we're gonna have NTPA tractor pulls, and so these are the big tractor pulls. These aren't just like myself who has farm tractors pulling them. These are the guys that do this for a living. And so they're gonna be out Thursday and Friday night. Saturday, we're gonna try to do a concert. So last year was our test year for it, and the rain kind of took over. But this year, since we're not gonna have rain, it's gonna be perfect. We're gonna have Sammy Kershaw come out, and we're gonna have him with Hitsville on Saturday. On Sunday, the demo derby. I mean, that's always been a great event, always a good draw. And so that's our lineup for the grandstand. And Michaela can tell you some of the stuff that's going on the fairgrounds.
Sure. So, last year we started Kids Day for the first time, and it doubled our gate admission. So we are going to continue with Kids Day. So it's half off, kids and ride armbands. And then that also gets you into Big Air, the grandstand show for that night. So it's $25, pay one price. Otherwise, if you come to the gate, it's $5 for kids, $10 for adults. We also have Senior Day on Wednesday for bull riding. We have some free lunch, Elvis in the
Bingo.
yeah, bingo, Elvis. Elvis was dancing on tables last year, so it's gonna be a hit. And then also some live music at the fair. I'm really proud of the fair for coming up with all of us for coming up with some great lineups for the grandstand or for the band shell and the beer garden stage. We're trying to really like move people around the fair a little bit more this year. So let's say like one country band is on one stage, it's going to be more pop or rock on another stage, and then if another stage is more kids oriented, it'll be geared towards adults on the other. So really trying to like move people around the fairgrounds, trying to get them to see the whole entire fair, not just one area. Some new attractions and events. We always get the question, what's new at the Anoka County Fair? So I decided to add this. So what's new? We have a Barnyard Beat Bash this year. So it's a unique experience, free with gate admission. It takes place on July 26th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. in the Livestock Arena building. The Barnyard Beat Bash is, so all the farm animals from the petting zoo will be in the Livestock Arena for a silent disco. So you'll be able to dance with no music playing around you, but in your ears, and 2 live DJs surrounded by farm animals. And we're partnering with the 4-H to clean up, be the pooper scoopers, basically. So it's going to be a really cool event. We have 2 live DJs caked up and DJ Hick Hop, so country and pop, and you'll be able to switch your headphones to either DJ. I've been to one of these before, and you just hear shoes squeaking, and you just see people dancing in weird ways. So it's kind of cool. So we're excited about that event. And then we also have Swifty Swine pig races. This is something I've always wanted to have at the fair. It's pig races, but their names are like Hannah Montana and Taylor Swifty, and, stuff like that. And you can, it's a show for all ages, but this will be located outside of the beer garden. So that's pretty exciting. We also have Paint and Sip in the beer garden on Saturday. It's $45 gate admission to the fair, and then instruction how to paint that wonderful day at the fair photo. We have partnered with Rum River Art Center this year to create the Creative Craft Corner workshops. So each day, people will be in the Home Arts building, the open class building, or the Home Arts building, and they'll be designing or learning how to create one of these projects each day. This is kind of our way to segue people entering in the fair, their projects in the fair more, and partnering with Rum River Art Center is a great way to do that because they have workshops and classes year round. So we're really grateful for their partnership, and it's $25, gate admission included, supplies included, and instruction included. So if you guys are looking for something to do, it's good for all ages. They'll go down to everybody's level. So. We also are doing Fair Buddies this year, and it's full. It's kind of our trial year. We're partnering with 4-H on this, and it's a new adaptive animal science experience for youth with disabilities. They'll be partnered with other 4-Hers, and they'll kind of learn how to take care of their animal, and they'll participate in a mock show. So we are full with that, but hopefully we can keep growing that from year to year. Other dates to remember, the Fall Festival after the fair is October 4th through the 6th, and the Springtime, oh, that's a typo. Springtime and Sunshine Festival is over Mother's Day weekend.
One of the changes this year is our fireworks has always been on Wednesday night with bull riding, and we've switched that now, so it's gonna be the opening of the fair, so it'll be Tuesday night. So there is another change just on the date of when we do fireworks. It also allows us, in case we did have rain on Tuesday, to do them on a Wednesday too.
Yeah.
So,
Not gonna rain, though.
It
It's
is
not gonna
not.
rain.
no. So, it is what it is. We can't control that.
That's true. Well, thank you, Mike and Michaelia. It's always been great to have you here in front of the board to speak to us about the events that occur at the fair every year. It's an enjoyable time, and the fair is a wonderful event to spend time with your family and friends and neighbors. So now I'd like to take a moment to remind the viewers at home that at noon on the first day of the fair, we'll be conducting a flag-raising ceremony to kick off the fair festivals. or the festivities. This event pays homage to the men and women who have fought and died to preserve and enhance the liberties that we all enjoy in this great country. We encourage members of the public to attend this ceremony. It's always wonderful to see visitors in the audience and as we recognize our veterans at this very special event. So I want to thank you guys again for all the work you've already put in leading up to the big event. I'm sure you're excited to get things started, but thank you for coming in and giving us the update.
Thank you. One more thing I just want to add real quick is the grandstand events that I did tell you about, they are all free with admission. So even Sammy Kershaw is free with admission.
That's a great point.
Now, we do sell some VIP tickets for Sammy down on, ground level right next to the stage. But anybody can come, as soon as you come in the gate, all of our grandstand events are part of gate admission.
Yeah, VIP is sold out for Sammy Kershaw. Pit party passes are available still.
So I just want everybody to know that it's pay one price, you get to see everything.
Great, sounds great, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jepson does.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to make a comment to both of you. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing to accommodate something really special that's also going to happen on Wednesday, July 24 at the fair. It's Senior Day, but it's also SHIP has paid Momentum Refresh to have a trailer there for adults and children, people of all ages to be able, who are wheelchair bound and need assistance using the bathroom, that will be made available to them. There was a couple of these trailers at the state fair last year, and they were a huge hit. And it just allows for more accessibility and inclusivity within the fair itself. So we're going to be there Wednesday morning, the 24th, to do a little bit of a ceremony and welcome, and hopefully that the trailer will get used and is much appreciated. So thank you for your conversations with me and accommodating that and making that possible.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you at the fair.
Yeah, see you at the fair.
You.
Now we'll move down to the committee reports, and we'll begin with the Management Committee report and Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Management Committee, we met on June 25th at 8:15 in this building. There were no public comments in person, nor were there in email, but I do accept public comments via email. Anyone can email me at mandy.meisner@anokacounty.mn.gov. So before you, we have one action item, but it is A and B. These are both restructures in different areas. So for item 1A is the restructure for the administration and licensed passport services. Essentially, we are taking 2.6 FTEs and incorporating them into a 1 FTE position. We try to do that systematically through this area. They have found that having a full-time position is better for retention and for candidates, for training and all those things. Can I take A and B together, or should we do these separate?
Let's do them separate.
Okay. So 1A is, again, turning 0.6 FTE to 1.0 FTE, and I will go ahead and move that.
Commissioner Meisner has made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jepson. Any questions or comments? The only thing I see is that they have a note at the bottom about the remaining, and maybe you mentioned this, Commissioner, about the 0.2 FTE that will be eliminated from that. So that's good that we're following up to make sure that they all match up. If there's no other questions, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item B.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item B is also a restructure. This is falling into the Human Services, Social Services, and Behavioral Health. Again, this is a restructure of a 0.6 FTE social worker and a 0.4 combined to a full 1.0 FTE. We have been talking a lot in management about restructuring in general, and so this is a good thing in terms of efficiency, and then this is also budget neutral, and I will go ahead and move that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Meisner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any questions? Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just to point out the obvious, I think, to everybody that this is a grade for grade change. So there is no, as mentioned, budget neutral. There's no budget change there. But the one financial implication is that we are going from part-time workers to a full-time worker. So there is some change in that we will be offering benefits to this position, which does come at an expense in future years.
Thank you.
That concludes my comments, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Any other comments? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
The rest is informational, but I do always like to share with the public. We did, for an informational item number 3, approve the following personnel transactions. They were voted yes with 1 nay of Commissioner Brasted. This was also in regards to a restructure, and that did go on. Informational item number 4 was about the employment agreement with Danelle Lawrence. That actually came to the full board and went through and was effective June 25th. Kristen Iwanika, I think I pronounced that correctly, our Human Resources Director, she did provide a progress report on the Management Committee Personnel Actions Report. And this 5 and 6 kind of go together. Commissioner Brasted has been requesting information in terms of kind of what Commissioner Schulte was talking about, making sure that we as a board understand what the full implications are with restructuring and new positions, whether that be health benefits or any other financial. So we're going to have, as a management committee, information either monthly or quarterly about where we're at, including travel expenses for past years. And that is informational item number 6. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Meisner. We'll move on to the management,
I think there's one more item, isn't there?
the Management Committee Chair Report.
Yep, that's
That's next.
separate.
Yep.
Or,
Oh, okay,
Yep.
that later, all right.
Item B, Management Committee Chair Report. Commissioner Meiser.
yes, I'm up again. So this next one is a chair report, and the reason that it is a chair report before you guys is we did not have the regular management committee this morning. There was only one item and no presentations, so we are bringing it before the full board instead. There is one action item. This again is a restructure. This is within the facilities management and construction. And essentially, we are, or this committee is recommending a 1 FTE, Associate Administrative, to be changed to a Construction Project Manager. So this has been identified as a great need. And again, with the restructure, this originally was a position that was in the finance. And as you guys know, we have a large variety of facility projects that we are really needing to not only keep up on, but we want to be proactive and make sure everything is efficient and safe. So I will go ahead and move that.
We have a motion on item A on the restructure. Do I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Meiser, seconded by Commissioner Schulte. Discussion. Commissioner Reiner.
And the budget neutral?
Board, my name is
Andrew.
Andrew Dykstra, Director of Facilities Management Construction. This is a $30,000 adjustment between what is, as Commissioner Meisner mentioned, a grade 26 going to a grade 34. It is covered in 2024 due to position vacancies. It is budgeted for 2025, which we have our 2025 budget presentation next week. And I would say, Commissioner Reiner, much like our subject matter experts, whether it's master electrician, master plumber, master locksmith, and the value and the savings that they bring to the overall bottom line between both operating budget and capital improvement budget, the same thing will take place with this position. This position can also handle themselves as an internal general contractor, so being able to oversee all the different disciplines for these different projects that we have all throughout the county.
Commissioner Reiner.
So, I understand the position, I understand why you need it, and the number of projects that we have going. I think the report said somewhere between 160 and 200.
Correct.
But in the planning for this year and, needing the right personnel in place, we knew about a lot of these projects that were going on this year, right? So kind of wondering why we're adding this person midstream and not looking at the calendar and what's ahead of us and, putting this person in place at the beginning of the year.
Right.
Andrew, did you?
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, Commissioner Reiner, So yes, this was a true opportunity that presented itself with the restructure of Finance and Central Services and that team coming over to Facilities Management Construction. We have talked about some of this in the past. We were looking to budget for this in 2025. That was going to be a part of our budget presentation. When this all happened, it just allowed the opportunity to present itself, and we wanted to move on it sooner rather than later with the intent to coach and teach and train this position so that we're ready to hit the ground running as we hit 2025.
Okay, understood, and I'll support.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Schulte.
I'm sorry, I was pointing to Commissioner Meisner.
Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I know this is a broader conversation that we have really been having a lot in Management Committee in terms of Commissioner Reiner brought up the timing. And so this was a direction of the board, right? Like, I think the month is October, of when the expectation is for staff that you guys only bring your requests once a year, essentially. Again, I have been very consistent even when this policy was kind of put in place, or this understanding. I think it's good to have a guideline, but the fact of the matter is this kind of work is fluid, and so we can't force it into a calendar. And essentially, too, with Workday, our new internal infrastructure happening, and everything else with human resources, these opportunities are presenting themselves. So in my opinion, I think it is efficient and good to seize that opportunity in the moment as much as possible. Again, of course, balancing that we're responsible, understanding what those tails are, but at the end of the day, we have to do the work, and that means giving our staff the resources to do that. So, thank you.
Commissioner Brasted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Andrew, is there someone internally that you think will be interested in applying for this position?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Brasted, no, this will be posted externally.
It will be.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I would say Jerry Koval is with us in the room today. And want to keep Jerry looking good also. If you stand closer to Jerry, you'll notice some gray hairs coming, and he's losing some hair. So we need to put this position in place so we can retain Jerry and keep him looking on the younger side versus the older side.
I'm thinking Jerry's got a pretty good head of hair compared to some of us here. Appreciate it. Any other comments? This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye. And that passes
All right,
unanimously.
thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Meisner, that's the end then?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that concludes my chair's report.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll move to Transportation Committee report, and Commissioner Jepson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We're going to change things up just a little bit, see how this goes, right? Joe McPherson, our chief engineer for the Transportation Department, and I had a conversation regarding how transportation items from the committee are presented to the board. So I will take the lion's share of the presentation, and he is absolutely here for questions. So thank you for being here, answering questions, because I'm sure I will not get it all straight first go round, but I'm doing my best. Okay, so the Transportation Committee meeting was held on Wednesday, June 26 at 2 p.m. At the Anoka County Transportation Division facility. All committee members were present, and there was no public comment. The first agenda item the committee is requesting approval on is Resolution 2024 TR22. Anoka County, in partnership with the City of St. Francis, has prepared plans, advertised, and awarded this bridge replacement project to Landwehr Construction. The project will replace an existing timber deck bridge with a pair of precast concrete box culverts. The total cost of the project is $583,122.32. To help fund the project, Anoka County applied through the local bridge replacement program. The program is funded by state bonds. Anoka County has been awarded $241,333.38 in these LBRP funds, which will fund approximately 40% of the bridge replacement costs. The remaining 60% will be funded by county state aid highway funds. Construction is scheduled to begin in the fall, and so I ask the board for approval or offering of the resolution 2024 TR22, replacing the existing timber deck bridge with a pair of precast concrete box culverts.
Commissioner Jepson has offered the resolution. Any discussion? Commissioner Schulte.
And Mr. Chair, as most of us may recall, this was a bridge that was hit by a a truck and a Bobcat trailer by a gentleman, and the bridge was damaged. And so this was closed for a period of time and restricted for quite a period of time. And so that insurance company, his insurance company, is covering a good portion of the cost of this, and the rest of it is picked up, as Commissioner Jepson has said, by the two different the number of different funding sources other than the insurance company. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Anyone else? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 2.
Yes, the next two agenda items are basically identical, except they refer to two different lots, two different properties. So I'll let you decide, Mr. Chair, if we want to take them together because they are identical. It just impacts two different lots. So the Dziuk, how do you pronounce that last name? Okay. So this property owner has a development plat. The development plat for this property owner was approved in 2022. The plat included the dedication of additional highway right-of-way, drainage utility easements, and restricted driveway access, openings along CASA 78. During the construction of the residential sites, the property owner requested the county staff to review and modify the driveway access opening to CASA 78 due to poor sight lines and high vehicle speeds. The county engineering staff reviewed and concurred with the modification of the access location. And so to permit the new driveway access location and modify the platted access designation, the county and the landowner must execute reciprocal deeds. The property owner has executed a deed to close the originally platted access point onto CASA 78 in accordance with the recorded plat. Each recording fee is $46, so the cost to the county is approximately $92. And so I'm requesting approval of the resolution 2024 TR23 and resolution 2024 TR24. TR23 is regarding Lot 3, Block 1, and TR24 is Lot 4, Block 1.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine to take them as two together. That's fine. We have a resolution. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it passes unanimously. Item number 4.
The next item to consider is another resolution, 2024 TR25. The owner of this vacant parcel contacted Anoka County regarding selling the property. This is quite an interesting ask. So county staff have reviewed the parcel for potential use as ponding in future highway improvement projects. County records show that the assessed value of the property is $100 and the property owner is up to date on payment of taxes of $1.12 for the year. The property owner and the county staff agree that $100 paying to this property owner is a fair purchase price.
And this is, do I have an offer on the resolution?
I'll offer it.
It's been offered by Commissioner Brasted. Any questions? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 5.
The next item is for approval to enter contract C00100791. The City of St. Francis is constructing a new city hall and fire station and is proposing to install streetscaping within the county right-of-way, which requires a license agreement between Anoka County and the City of St. Francis. Some of the city's landscape request memorandum states that there will be no streetscape landscaping enhancements proposed for the Ambassador right-of-way, installation of low shrubs and perennials between the sidewalk in front of the new City Hall Fire Station complex. The planting bed will be supported by drip irrigation and be maintained by the city. The Bridge Street Boulevard will be restored with turf and no irrigation. 7 new boulevard trees are proposed in the Bridge Street Boulevard, which will be maintained by the city. No irrigation is proposed for this area. And the city will be responsible for maintenance of the proposed streetscape landscaping within the right-of-way.
I'll move it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brasted
Second.
and seconded by Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Jepson, or perhaps for Joe, The word turf stood out to me when she just said it. It's not artificial turf, it's just regular grass. Okay, just making sure. All right, so we have item 5. Any other questions or comments for anyone? This is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item that the committee recommends for approval is for the county engineer to purchase 3 tandem axle plow trucks, 2 sign trucks, 2 foreman trucks, 1 Parks truck, and 1 John Deere tractor. All of these are part of the 2025 Highway Department and Park Department budgets. Anoka County utilizes the State of Minnesota Contract Purchasing Program, or the NJPA, National Joint Powers Agreement contract to purchase vehicles and equipment. This program provides reduced rates to governmental organizations. And speaking with state-approved vendors, we've been told that these pieces of equipment have long delivery lead times. By placing the orders now, we can still order the units at current co-op contract pricing, which will most likely increase next year and will also allow for timely delivery times in 2025. In total, the cost of the 9 pieces of equipment will cost a little over $2.3 million, which will be funded through the county levy.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Schulte. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any discussion? Commissioner Meisner?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to say that the number that we are saving by doing it with this timing is over 500,000. Doing this as a 10%. Okay.
10%, okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Commissioner Brasted?
Thank you. Just a comment that this is in our capital equipment plan for next year, but just ordering it in advance is going to be a little more efficient. So it's something we have been planning for the replacement of these.
Good, thank you. And anybody else? Seeing nothing, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Informational items?
Yes, so yes, I finished the action items. There were a couple conversations we had after the action items. We had a robust discussion about a recent meeting with county staff about a possible request for a dedicated utility easement across 2 Anoka County-owned parcels to install overhead voltage power lines in the city of Coon Rapids. And we also reviewed a draft resolution regarding the county road safety plan and Safe Streets and Roads for All safety plan, which will outline the county's goal and commitment towards 0 fatalities and serious injuries on Anoka County roadways. And with that, Mr. Chair, I conclude my Transportation Committee report.
Thank you, Commissioner Jepson. We'll move down to item 8, which is Intergovernmental and Community Relations Committee report. Commissioner Reinert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My Intergovernmental and Community Relations Committee met on June 26th, and all committee members were present and accounted for. Just have one action item for you today, kind of an important one. My committee recommends the county board adopt resolution 2024 IG05. In this resolution of support and request for action to enact policy authorizing the medical examiner, coroner, to issue veterans' death certificates and obtain reimbursement from refusing, from Veterans Affairs facility and physicians that refuse to sign the death certificate. So I've been working on this for over 4 years. And basically what this is you've got VAs around the country that if they do not see their if people that are if people that have the VA as their main clinician do not see their main clinician within 90 days of death, sometimes the VA does not sign the death certificate. What this causes is county coroners to get involved and to then seek medical information from the VA, and this can take up to 6 to 8 weeks, so that then the county coroner can basically sign the death certificate. This causes undue stress on veterans' families. My dad served, I think he's got about 13 or 14 great grandkids. I don't know how many grandkids, 5 kids, and then all of our relatives. If my dad passed, because the VA is his main clinician, and didn't see them within 90 days, we would go through this. And, you know, everybody would be in my family, maybe up to 100 people, you know, wondering why my dad is, you know, not having a funeral. Because you can't do anything with benefits, you can't do anything with bank accounts, you can't even plan a funeral without a death certificate. So we've been working on this with our lobbyists locally, in the state of Minnesota, in Washington, D.C., and it really is starting to catch fire across the country. And in fact, you know, thanks to Commissioner Jepson, who's also been a tremendous help in moving things forward with this and getting some publicity for this. Just got a report from Emmer's office yesterday, and I guess there is a bill that dropped. It's dropped now, and so it's being considered by the House. It'll then go to the Senate, and hopefully, you know, cross our fingers, knock on wood, it goes to the president and gets signed. And basically what this does, we at first started to go down the path of changing language for the VA to mandate that they sign death certificates. This seemed to be a little bit cumbersome and had some resistance, and so what we feel is, what we want to do is to have the language state that the VA will at least pay the bill. If we have to do the work, they're going to pay the bill. And the thinking behind the scenes is that money talks, and that if the VA all of a sudden starts getting invoices from a lot of county coroners, they might take a look at why maybe some of their clinicians are not signing death certificates. So maybe not solve the entire problem, but I think it'll help tremendously, and at least we'll get reimbursement. So with that, we are today looking at a resolution in support of basically everything I've talked about. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to move adoption of, what do we have here? 2024 IG 05.
The resolution has been offered. Questions? Commissioner Jepson.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thanks to Commissioner Reinhardt for getting this here this morning. Just one point of clarification, it already has passed the House in DC, and now it's at the Senate.
Okay,
Yep,
thank you.
yep, so it's even further progress.
So now we're going to the Senate.
Yep, going to the Senate, and then hopefully the President, hopefully signed by the end of the year, if not sooner. And the appropriation will require the VA to track their death certificate signage delays for the past 5 years, because they do not track this information right now, and that's a problem. And so they're going to get 45 days to get the data together so that we can prove that this is impacting many, many veterans. More than one is too many. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and also the reason why we took up this task to our coroner's office handles 37 Minnesota counties, and we also have some counties that we take care of or serve in Wisconsin and even Michigan. And so I think we're 43 or 47, something like that, counties in total that our coroner's office does work for. And so it's a big impact on Anoka County. And of course, you have smaller counties that maybe see this once a year. Well, we see it a lot. And so it's a problem. If it happens once and this happens to veterans' families, it's just not the right way to say goodbye to someone who's served our country. So I'm glad we're doing these.
Anyone else have a comment? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, passes unanimously. Any informational?
A couple informational items. We did discuss the business subsidy awarded to Graco, Minnesota. They did sign, and so that deal's done. We did have presentation from Colleen Habner on the library, and also Shane Sheets gave a department update. And that completes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move down to the Parks Committee report, and Commissioner Reinert.
Okay. My committee met on July 2nd at Bunker Beach Water Park, and it was raining. So, yeah, we had a little bit of a wet meeting. We were under one of the sun sails. All committee members were there. Commissioner Meisner was unable to make it. We do have one action item before you today, and that is committee recommends the county board to award 3 contracts for citywide use for geotechnical services to Braun, Intertech, Terracon, and is it Hugo? And basically, this is for soil borings and infiltration testing. A new person, though, we had this Hugo, or how do you pronounce it? Is it Hugo or Hugo?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Jeff Perry, Park Director for Anoka County. I believe it's Hugo.
Okay. And they came in with very surprising estimates. And so we're going to be hiring 3 different companies. Do we then use them more because their prices are more favorable? Okay, all right. And this is for services throughout the county. So do you have anything to add?
Nothing to add, Mr. Chair and members of the board.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Jepson. Do I have a second? I'll second it. And any questions? Hearing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
And we just have some informational items. I'll just mention a couple here. We do have in the Rice Creek Chain of Lakes Park Reserve in the beautiful city of Lionel Lakes, there is a road and parkway and trail project going on. Also at Wargo Nature Center, there's some improvements that we are involved with there. The interior and exterior of the facility is getting some updates, and we have a new amphitheater and new benches that actually I think park staff is building. New playground is going in, and then the lower level of the facility, teaching elements with interactive carts and displays, and touch and see room. Coon Rapids Dam Regional Park, the bridge, culvert, and trail improvements are still underway. This has been going on for a couple of years now and will be done by this fall. Bunker Hills Regional Park has a water and sewer improvement project underway. And I guess one thing for the public to know, we do sell firewood every single fall, and in September, October of this year, we'll have a lot of wood because of not Dutch elm disease, emerald ash borer. We've had to take out a lot of trees, and so we'll have a lot of wood to sell this fall. And that completes my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert. We'll move down to Public Safety Committee Chair Report. Commissioner Brasted.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, so I just have a chair report today, and it's to recommend the county board approve contract C0010925, the 2024 National Forensic Sciences Improvement Act Program Grant with the Office of Justice Programs in the amount of $71,388 in a term of February 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. These grant dollars were applied for through our forensics lab, and we've been notified that we will receive it, and it will be utilized to replace a 14-year-old instrument within our toxicology section. And I'm happy to move that.
We have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. It's been moved by Commissioner Brasted, seconded by Commissioner Schulte. Any discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Anything else, Commissioner
That
Brasted?
concludes my chair report.
Thank you. And we have, that was the last part of our initial agenda. We have an additional agenda, which was added on Monday, which was yesterday, 24 hours prior to this meeting. I do have a little bit of an issue with the timing on that. My concern is that this is a rather large resolution that we're about to take a look at and pass, and it should have been on our agenda immediately as it was posted back in, I guess it was Wednesday, because the 4th of July was on Thursday. And that would have given the public and everyone interested a chance and an opportunity to see that that was coming before us today. And And that, for whatever reason, perhaps we didn't have everything in line, so that at that time it wasn't completed, the resolution that we have before us. And that's not the transparency I hope to see from our county and our county board. There are a lot of things that we still have to do on this resolution, and it is quite detailed. It gave the county board only, like I said, 1 day to look at it. So what I would like to do is make a motion to postpone this to a upcoming board meeting. I won't set the date at this point in time. It could be as early as the 23rd of July. There are some other issues that I think we do need to understand and be aware of. And again, doing our due diligence, because we have a legislative directed study on jail consolidation and alternatives to incarceration that is currently being worked. That study is going on right now. As a matter of fact, I got an email yesterday as the board chair, and all board chairs in the county received this email asking to participate in the study. So we're answering some questions that are available, and I think they're also asking some other county commissioners to weigh in as well, but the email that I received yesterday was to the board chairs. And that goes into some detail, all the different questions they have that they want answered, or they would like to have answered for this group that's doing the study. The study goes before it will be presented, is to be done by October 20th of this year, and it will be presented to the Director of Corrections on that date, and then it will go from the Director will make his proposal to the legislature later on in, I guess, the next session in 2025. But this study is going to address some of the issues that we've been dealing with regarding how large of a jail to build and some of those issues. So that is part of what I think we ought to take into consideration. For those of us who have sat on city councils, we do realize that most of the things that we're going to ask the city of Anoka to do are different ordinances and variations to their rules and regulations that they have, and they probably can take the full amount of time to do those things, and that's usually a 90-day period. Cities usually have 90 days to accomplish these things. And so for 90 days from the date of today, would take us almost to October 20th. We have been working with the city to try to build a relationship that understands each other and talks about making this a jail that can work for both Anoka City and Anoka County and the people of Anoka County. And just having this added at the very last hour, 24-hour period, is a little bit of a problem. And had I been asked what I would have preferred to do, I would have said, let's just hold it until the 23rd. One more session, one more 2-week period isn't going to make or break us. So I am going to offer the resolution that we postpone, offer the motion to postpone this resolution until a future date. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Point of order. I think the way to do this would be see if anybody offers a resolution and then make your motion to postpone.
After that?
Yes.
Okay.
Which would need a second.
All right, so we have this is listed as item number 1, consider resolution 2024-74, a resolution to approve moving forward with the new Anoka County jail facilities. Do I have offer the resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
It's been offered by Commissioner Brasted. Now I would make a motion to postpone the resolution until a future date. Do I have a second?
I would second.
It's been moved by myself and seconded by Commissioner Reiner. Do I have discussion? Or do we take discussion on this? Okay.
You can discuss the postponement.
Thank you.
Whether that's a good option or not.
Thank you. Commissioner Meisner, I see your hand up first.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, first, I will say what I do agree with you in terms of the additional agenda item being put on as late in the day. So I also prefer not to have that for transparency's sake. However, I am going to be voting no to postpone this. This is an issue that does need to move forward. We have all been talking about this for several years, so I will be voting no because I think postponement is a mistake.
Any other comments? Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, so the creation of this resolution really started, as far as the idea for a resolution. Back in January, I spoke with the sheriff and others, Sheila, who runs the jail. And, you know, at the time, too, there was a lot of concern from the city of Anoka in, you know, the actions of our board. And so, you know, what I suggested is that we create a resolution that would define exactly the use.
Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, just, I guess, point of order, I think we're only supposed to be discussing the postponement, and then once the actual resolution is back on the floor, then we can discuss the resolution, and you can make your comments.
So just about the actual.
Well, I guess it gets to that because, you know, this is the reason for the
Right, but-
postponement, is that the resolution in front of us does not look anything like what we began as far as an effort for a resolution to be. And then that was going to be my reason for, you know, supporting the postponement because, you know, we were starting to go down the path of, you know, defining, you know, post-conviction inmates, federal inmates, mental health inmates, other county inmates in our jail. And then it hit the county attorney's office and it came back out as basically just a green light to just build what has been discussed. And so it has really nothing in it as far as guiding the use of it, and that's where the conversation started. And so because of that, and mostly because we just received this thing less than 24 hours ago, I don't even know if that's legal to then today be, you know, acting on it, and I don't think it is. But somebody, you know, I guess is giving it the green light. There's just no way we should be acting on this. It is not anywhere. I've been asking for a copy of this resolution for over a month. And I keep being told it's being worked on, it's being worked on, it's being worked on. And I thought it was being worked on in the way that, you know, we were going to be discussing post-conviction inmates, federal inmates, mental health inmates, and other county inmates. And basically, that was all erased. And the only thing that this thing really does is green lights the project.
Let's hold it there.
The design.
Let's hold it there because we can talk about it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, this thing is not ready for prime time.
All right, so we're, anyone else on the actual, Commissioner Jepson?
Yes, the actual postponement. I am going to support postponement because based on conversations today, based on conversations during public meetings, we can kind of see where everybody stands, and I'm afraid that if we don't postpone it, the resolution is going to die. So in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, County Attorney, postponing it will keep it alive for a future date, where shutting it down and voting no on it will just kill it.
That's correct.
Thank you. Any other discussion? This,
One more
Yes.
comment, Mr. Chair. So this is about the postponement, and I truly do understand the struggles that staff are going through. I 100% I can't 100%. I don't do your job. I can't step in your shoes. Hearing your frustration, hearing your urgency, hearing my colleagues' urgency for this is something I am definitely weighing and considering. And I feel like if we don't postpone and move forward with this, the city of Anoka very realistically will put every roadblock, every barrier in front of us. And for a minor month, 2-month, 3-month delay in getting this right, getting to a yes, that everyone can get to a yes, will move the project faster than what roadblocks and barriers are put in our way by the city of Anoka. And that is what I don't want to have happen. Because if we just move this forward, it's going to cost a lot more money in legal fees too.
thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Meisner?
Yes. Yeah, and I'm sorry, because I'm the one that brought up the point of order about only talking about the postponement, but I just want to, I guess, understand my options. So if this is the only opportunity for comment, is this the only opportunity for comments
On this?
about the resolution?
No.
No.
This is the comments on the
On the
postponement,
postponement,
and then
right.
if the postponement motion fails, then we'd move to discussion of the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah, and if the postponement passes, then it postpones it, and there we will not have any discussion today on the resolution. But you can always have discussions with staff on the resolution.
The other thing I should probably clarify, Mr. Chair, is whether you're moving to postpone it to a date certain or postpone it indefinitely.
My motion was indefinitely, but that doesn't mean it means we just I haven't decided on exactly the date. And I would work with staff and anyone else to decide the date certain. My main concern is that it got to us late, and it should have been on the agenda so everyone could see that it was going to be on the agenda. We did not have an agenda. We did not have this on our agenda for the workshop in which it was discussed. And at the end of that workshop on the 25th, I believe it was, of June, it was not on there, but it got brought up and we had a discussion, and that's when the 4 people decided to say that they wanted it on there. So there was 4 people that wanted it on there. That's why staff moved forward. I could live with that. I wanted it on, if it was gonna be on the agenda then, I could live with that, and I wouldn't be doing this postponement right now.
Mr. Chair, I call the question.
All right. We have the postponement in front of us. This is a roll call vote.
No.
Commissioner Jepson,
Yes.
Commissioner Meisner,
Nay.
Commissioner Brassad,
Nay.
Commissioner Reinert,
Yes.
Commissioner Gamache.
Yes. And that's a 3-3 vote, so it does not pass. Now we have the resolution before us, and Commissioner Brassad offered the resolution. Discussion. Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in regards to this resolution and the study, so the study is happening. I agree that this is going to be good information. However, this resolution essentially states the location, and whatever the study will present, it still allows us to do design changes for whatever information is discovered. And I'm going to go back to that work session because at the end of the day, the location is what is the issue. And so by removing it from anywhere except this site, it was twice as expensive. And I've always been very upfront and certainly understanding your position. I do want to acknowledge that one of the Anoka City Council members are here in the audience. So I'm absolutely empathetic to where you're coming from, but I've also always said, you know, if the expense is going to be unreasonably significant, I do have to consider all of the residents of Anoka County in terms of who is going to be paying for this. So regardless of what the study says, regardless if we get the land with all the green lights, I still cannot support moving it with the price tag that is presented us. So the idea of postponing this resolution, which again basically states green light for the site location, the study can still happen. It's not mutually exclusive in my opinion.
Commissioner Reinert.
Okay, resolution. All right, so like I said, I've been asking for a copy and an updated version of this resolution for over a month and continued to be told that it was just being worked on. I received this resolution less than 24 hours ago and expected to act on it. And I'm going to read some things that this resolution actually does. The resolution, rather than describing the use of the jail facility as was requested, greenlights the entire project, including location, design, and directs staff to move forward with permitting and plan submissions to the city with very little detail on how the jail will be used. My concerns as far as use, like I said before, it's post-conviction inmates. These are inmates that have been convicted They're done being adjudicated. A jail is to house people while they're being adjudicated. Federal inmates, we don't have clarification on that. Mental health inmates, to what degree? There's a lot going on with mental health right now and inmates, and as far as where to put them. All of the facilities are full. We're building this Taj Mahal with 540 beds, and so there is going to be an incredible amount of extra room in this building when it is done. What are we going to do with those extra, with all that extra space? Are we going to become a mental health inmate facility? Other counties, to what degree? And so, yeah, this did not appear on our recent workshop for discussion or the agenda published just last week for today's board meeting. DOC is in the process of creating a report on jails in general in Minnesota and could possibly change the entire trajectory of what it is that we're supposed to build based on their guidelines and their new guidelines. As the chair mentioned, we did get a letter just yesterday from the city of Anoka that was dated July 3rd. And in there, I doubt that they're going to want to cooperate with us and move forward and give and grant any permits. And I'm just going to read exactly what the action is. The Anoka County Board of Commissioners approves the location in the city of Anoka between 3rd and 4th Avenue as referenced above, and the proposed design concept of the jail facilities presented by Wald Architects. The Anoka County Board of Commissioners authorizes and directs that the county's design team, assigned staff, directors, and managers in coordination with the Anoka County Sheriff's Office move forward with permit plan submissions to the city for approvals, as well as request to vacate Van Buren Street. And so this action today, we're done. This passes and the county board is done. I mean, we're basically turning it all over to staff. And can I just ask, how much is this going to cost? And how are we going to pay for it? Because that's not in the resolution, although we're just green-lighting this today, completely green-lighting it. And we're saying build it, and we're completely out of it. This board is out of it. We make no more decisions. And to the comments about the DOC report that's going to be coming down the pike, and we might have to change the designs based on what that report says, for us to pass this and say to the design teams at Walden, go ahead and build a jail and start moving down that path before that DOC report is done and submitted and that we know what's in there, we could be designing something and going down this path and then having to change it, which costs taxpayer money. So I don't think this is a responsible thing to do at this time. But if you guys want to, green light the project, and, I'm only one vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There has been more delays in making a decision here than I've ever experienced in my life on anything ever. And I'm surprised. I'm terribly surprised. We had a work session very recently where this was brought up, that we should do this at this meeting. And all 6 commissioners agreed that we should do this at this meeting. Nobody had any disagreement whatsoever. They said everybody agreed that it should come to this meeting, and we should just vote whether we agree with it or not. We should vote yes or no on a resolution that would come before us. I thought that was a pretty simple idea. We all agreed that there wouldn't be much discussion, that we would look at the resolution and we would vote, whether we agreed with it or not. The delays have been horrendous in length and time. They've been going on and on. It is my opinion that Anoka will never bring down their roadblocks. They will oppose us in perpetuity. They do not want the jail in the city of Anoka. They went to the legislature and got legislation so we could build it somewhere else in Anoka County. That's a heavy lift. They went to the work. They spent money so they could do that. They do not want the jail in the city of Anoka. It's our job to build a jail. We should build a jail. We've gone to the work of hiring consultants to find out where to build it. Where's the best place to build it? Our consultant said, build it adjacent to your courthouse. It's the right thing to do. It's the safest thing to do. It's the smartest thing to do. It's the fiscally responsible thing to do. We've studied it to death. It's the right thing to do. We've looked at it. We've come up with a resolution. We've come up with 3 resolutions, 4 resolutions. We've come up with one, and it doesn't decide everything for us. We will come up with a financing plan, and we will vote on that financing plan. We will decide when to go out to bond. We'll decide how much to go out to bond. None of that decision is made in this resolution. We'll decide that. This resolution does talk about how we should take care of federal inmates after they're adjudicated. It's in there. It's in item 4. It talks about it. It says that it's up to the sheriff's discretion. It talks about it in here. We have a lot of decisions to make on this, but we have one decision to make today, and that's whether we should support this resolution. And that decision should be made, in my opinion. It should be made that we support this resolution, and it gets us one step down the road. It gets us into a position where we say, City of Anoka, we want to work with you. We're going to pass this resolution, and let's go on from here. Let's take the next step. What is that? Are you going to work with us because we want to build it here in Anoka? We want to be your partner. Let's do this. That concludes my thoughts right now, Mr. Chair, and I hope you all will help support me in this resolution to move this along.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I echo Commissioner Schulte's sentiments, and you guys are correct. It was not on the work session agenda. I did bring it up because I felt like we do need to keep this moving forward. This is our responsibility, and again, I will remind us all that this building is falling apart. It is unsafe for the human beings that are there, and it is frankly unsafe for the staff who have to work there. So this is hard decisions, but it's our responsibility to do. I do want to point out a couple of facts that, again, this is primarily why I'm also standing by. In the 3 years of this delay, it has gone up from approximately a $250 million price tag to $270 million, with the loose proposal that was presented to us by the City of Anoka, moving it to a different site location, which was not actually all of the information. It was just too much little time for them to get together. But even with that estimate, it was $100 million more for a justice center, for a completely different project. I cannot get behind that. So again, this resolution just states that we are saying yes to the site location. There is still flexibility. Commissioner Reiner, you talked about the use of the jail. I did have in-depth conversations with the attorney's office. I do know that not everything that any of us want is going to be in this resolution, but a lot of what you have been requesting, we can't legally put in there. You can't predict or somehow define mental health and what does that look like for a jail. So that's the reasons that it's not in the resolution. So again, we've got to move this forward. This is our responsibility. And unless all of us are actually okay with that $100 million more increase, because that's the only alternative to not having it on this site. If you're okay with doing that, I mean, then you should vote to postpone and keep working on this. But if not, if honestly that you cannot get behind this price tag, then this is just shirking our responsibility. Thank you.
Commissioner Reiner, then Commissioner Jepsen.
Yeah, a couple of things. As far as the delays, I've been here now, about 4.5 years, and I've asked a lot of questions about this jail. What were some of the other plans that were looked at? What are some of the other options? And I've always been told there aren't any. This is it. And this was pushed forward year after year after year with no action, by the way. And so the people that are complaining about no action, actually have some hand in it being delayed. This year, though, and everything's a process with government. This year, though, we are going through a process that probably should have been started years ago with the city and trying to work through some problems that they have. They weren't brought into the, fold in the project process, at the beginning. And so we're going through some of that now. So, people can talk about delays all they want, and maybe there are some that are happening this year, but they were intentionally happening for years prior to this year. As far as the resolution, and that we all agreed that we were going to vote on this resolution today, I had got it less than 24 hours ago. And I was busy yesterday, so I didn't read it until last night. So don't tell me that at our last meeting, we agreed to act on this resolution, because I didn't read it till last night.
Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Agree with almost everything you said. This is our responsibility. If we don't move forward with this, we're shirking our responsibility. I agree. I have two very significant problems within the resolution that if I need to make an amendment to deal with those two items, I would like to do that. And if that is approved, I will approve the resolution. The first item I would like to remove is under purpose of a new jail on number 4. Remove the 3 words "or federal agencies."
Which,
Purpose of a new jail,
1, 2, or 3, or 4?
Number 4.
4, okay.
3 words "or federal agencies." And the second being any mention of the parcel number or street address or street name of Van Buren Street.
So I'm assuming that's PIN 063124330219, which is 303 Van Buren Street, as well as the segment of Van Buren Street?
Correct.
Or, okay. I believe it's in location of the jail, item number 2, PIN 06-31-24-33-0219. And then it's the address 303 Van Buren Street. And then you, and Commissioner Jepson, if I'm not mistaken, you also want as well as a segment of Van Buren Street?
Correct.
So can you tell me how that would read then?
Okay, so let's see if it reads right. The proposed site located in the city of Anoka between 3rd and 4th Avenue, utilizing 2 parcels, which would have to be 1 parcel.
No, Mr. Chair, if I could. The proposed site located in the city of Anoka is the safest, most feasible, and fiscally responsible location for the new jail.
Oh, so you take everything out in between? That has all the PIN numbers and all the addresses?
Yes.
So between 3rd and 4th Avenue stays?
No.
No. City of Anoka is the safest, most feasible, and fiscally responsible?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get that. Do you have that right? Then, Brian, do you have the proposed site located in the city of Anoka is the safest, most feasible, and fiscally responsible location for the new jail?
Yes, I've got that change.
And that was your change?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion for a change in those 2 areas, which is the location of the jail for everybody. Everybody knows what it is. And then item number 4, under propose a new jail, eliminate or federal agencies. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner, yes.
as a point of order, I think, could this be accepted as a friendly amendment to the resolution by the maker of the resolution?
Or does it need?
Or does it need to be an amendment to the resolution as a first and a second and a motion?
I think it could be accepted as a friendly amendment, but given how this is going, you might want to vote on it individually.
Understood.
Okay.
Changes, yeah.
Commissioner Bresson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the Commissioner Jepson coming up with some options, but the whole point of this resolution was, are we going to follow best practices which indicate the jail, the courthouse, and the government center stay adjacent to one another? And even if we're not exactly sure how that design is going to lay out, perhaps as a substitute to what Commissioner Jepson is suggesting, we say located in the city of Anoka on the county's properties, because we have the land, we own the land. 7 years ago, we bought the Jackson Street property, knowing we're gonna have to configure something out in this area. I think that it's very important that we pass this resolution saying we're gonna build something, we're gonna build a jail on our county property. I think that's the whole key of this whole resolution. If we take that out, then we're ignoring the bench. We're ignoring all the services that we have right here. We're ignoring best practices. That's the whole point of the location of the jail, is to keep it all together.
As what if I'm understanding what Commissioner Brastad's saying is that we add something to the proposed site, comma, located in the city of Anoka, comma, on county-owned property.
Correct.
Would that, okay,
Mr. Chair, can I just,
yes.
I don't know that I'm stepping in where you don't want me to step into, but I'm just going to point out a couple things. The motion as proposed by Commissioner Jepson still refers to the proposed site. Know what that site is. Secondly, adding to the resolution that we only build on county-owned property is problematic because right now we don't own Van Buren.
Correct.
Correct.
I,
That is a good point.
well, and I think we probably have to leave this in here as it's stated, because that's where we're looking to build and construct this. And the idea that this is the first time people have looked at this resolution. This resolution has had, I believe, 4 different revisions over the last 6, 7, 8 months. And it just keeps getting downsized. It keeps getting more simplified. And the whole point of what we're doing today is to just get off the starting block. We're not answering all the questions about mental health. We're not finalizing any design. We're not looking at alternatives to incarceration, which has been a term and phrase that has been thrown around and discussed for years. I believe at our last workshop, there was the majority of us that said move forward on our next agenda. So I think that the kickback is very much disingenuous about this being. We knew it was, if it wasn't on the original agenda, it would be on an additional agenda. This is the 5th additional agenda that we've had this year. This is our protocol. This is our policy. Nothing that we're doing with this today is out of order. This is how we regularly conduct business. An additional agenda item is not unusual. So I take back what I said about the location. It is key. That is really why we're here. We're just saying it's going to be connected. It'll be on these county parcels. The look of it. We have worked with the city for the last 3 years. We've changed, with Wold's help, the architects changed some things that they asked for. We've said that we'll lower the number of beds. All of this does is say, okay, we're gonna move forward. And yes, we've been threatened that it may be hard to work with the city of Anoka. We'll anticipate that. We've got legal staff for that. But to not move forward on a commissioner's behalf, I find that very irresponsible. It's time. We've discussed this, we've revised this. Enough is enough. If we say that we support public safety, this is it. We've got to show that we support.
Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The only thing that I do disagree about the additional agenda item. I'm not happy that it is been put forth that way. However, it is what it is. So my question, though, I do actually have a process technical question. So the last time that this resolution was before this board, I had offered a friendly amendment that I would have supported. It would have passed. It was rejected. I do not want to see that happen today. If Commissioner Jepson is willing to support this with some modifications, I am very open to that because my priority is to move this forward. My technical question, though, is without an actual address, I'm not sure if we can still move forward as a staff with permits and things like that, then great. I just don't know if that hinders anything. So that's my question. And then lastly, I would like to invite our sheriff here because even though we are the ones that are deciding this jail is for you. This is your jail. And so I think that I would like to also offer you an opportunity to speak your comments about that. But first, I do want my question about if there's no address, are we still able to move forward with permits?
Yeah,
and
Mr.
things?
Chair, Commissioners, I don't know if you want to hear from facilities or anyone else, but my opinion is that it still refers to the proposed site. We all know what the proposed site is. That's well documented. And so including the exact PIN numbers is really just a clarification.
Okay.
Commissioner Jepson.
Sorry, no. Did you want the sheriff to speak?
Yes.
Sheriff.
Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity. I know, obviously, it's a difficult decision for you all to make. And you're not the first county board to be in this predicament. Many county boards have been in the same situation throughout the state of Minnesota. I have a couple of comments, though, that I want to make. First off, specifically about consolidation and alternatives to incarceration. I think your instinct is telling you that consolidation is mostly about rural Minnesota. I agree with that assessment. Keep in mind what's different in rural Minnesota is that a lot of the jails outstate have both pre-sentence and post-sentence inmates in their facilities. And why that is important is, for example, the county of Beltrami right now is in the midst of building a jail. They have a contract with Cass County. In other words, they're consolidating, but the contract is Cass County is going to have post-sentence inmates in Beltrami County's jail. That'll never be the circumstance here in Anoka County. We're never going to house post-sentenced inmates in the Anoka County jail that you're talking about being proposed. A piece of that study was for the Department of Corrections to reach out to sheriffs and jail administrators, and they did that via survey, and I answered that survey. It wasn't more than a week ago. My jail administrator, Sheila Larson, she also answered her portion of it, and it's not practical for a metro county for every reason that you can imagine, because we're talking about pre-sentence facility, meaning police departments come to the jail, they drop off inmates, and they go back to their jurisdiction to continue their patrol or investigative responsibilities. It doesn't make sense for Anoka County. Who would we consolidate with? Hennepin? That would be where we're closest to. That certainly is not even worthy of consideration, and it never would happen. So I just wanted to address that topic. Secondarily is that, and I guess I don't want to belabor the conversation here, but I guess indulge me, I'm going to belabor the conversation. I pulled a copy of the sunset letter that was received by Itasca County in 2018. Sunset letter is decommissioning. These are words that are being used, but it's the State Department of Corrections saying you're no longer going to be allowed to house inmates until you fix certain things structurally within your building. And if you'll indulge me, I'm going to read you a couple of paragraphs. Won't take me more than a minute or two, but this was dated April 25th, 2018. from the Assistant Commissioner of Corrections to the Itasca County Sheriff and to the Itasca County Administrator, and I'll cut to the chase. Chapter 2911 rules, which Minnesota rules 2911 dictate how a jail is supposed to be run, require 100% compliance with rules. Many of the mandatory rules that are not in compliance are directly related to the physical plant conditions, meaning the physical condition in the Itasca County Jail. I'll skip ahead here. The National Institute of Corrections has determined the average life expectancy of a corrections facility that operates 24 hours per day to be approximately 25 to 30 years, depending on facility usage. We're in year 41, and we haven't even come up with a plan yet for a building that probably is going to take 4 years to build minimum. The Itasca County Jail has been in operation for approximately 35 years, with an expansion in 1998. All these things that you're hearing are going to sound very similar to Anoka County. We too had an expansion. It now has a capacity of 98 beds. That was the Itasca County's capacity, which is an increase of 40 beds from the original design capacity, meaning they doubled it. Again, that's exactly what we did in Anoka County. Built in 1983 for 130 and then doubled more or less to 240. This is in the letter. Support spaces such as medical, programming, recreation, property storage, intake booking were not sized to account for this increased capacity and use. There does not appear to be any further options to extend the life expectancy or improve the operational efficiencies of the existing facility beyond those that have already been undertaken by the county. The facility lacks adequate housing space to ensure proper separation of inmates according to an approved classification system. Again, these are familiar comments that you've heard. Coupled with higher populations, it does not appear the current facility has the capacity to meet the requirements of these rules. All these deficiencies negatively impact the safety and security of the facility, the staff, daily operations, and the citizens of Itasca County. Based on the limitations of the current facility, the physical plant deficiencies, increased inmate populations, facility operations, and inspections deficiencies listed in several inspection reports, the following action is being taken with respect to the authorization of the Itasca County Jail to continue to be approved for operations. And here's the money shot. The Itasca County Jail will be approved to operate with a sunset authorization. The sunset authorization provides a date for which the facility will no longer be authorized to hold persons within the facility. As such, the sunset date for the Itasca County Jail shall be September 1st, 2021. The only reason we haven't had a sunset letter is that the Department of Corrections knows that Anoka County has been working towards resolving the issue, and they've just let Anoka County run through the process. That said, I assure you the Department of Corrections will not just allow us to have this building that you've all seen the interior, you know it's substandard, you know it's not meeting modern expectations. In addition, we have a facilities manager who I don't even know how he could have more strongly stated his concern about the physical ability of that building to remain operational. $11 million, I think, was the number in deferred maintenance, is specifically what he said, in addition to all of us being terrified of a busted pipe and wiping out the electronics within the building or whatever, something along those lines would be dire. And I don't know how I can help the conversation move along. Again, I understand that you're all in a difficult position, but and I thought it was a great point by Commissioner Schulte to bring up the city of Anoka went to the effort of getting state statute amended, which is not an easy lift, to allow for the facility to be built in another city. And we had a representative from another city show up and just say, I'm interested maybe in having a conversation. And that led to an explosion of social media content in that particular city that made it crystal clear to me there's no place that's going to say, yes, build here. And in that case, that was even a public safety facility, which would be a $500 million county investment, which literally could change the trajectory of how a city thinks of itself. But even given that, it was seemingly the third rail of politics. And I guess for me, I saw, it caused me to recognize that it's not going to be palatable to anyone. What I can say to Anoka City is that a new building being built will be run better, will be better able to deal with the inmates, their issues as it relates to addiction or mental health, that I'm certain we will run in a manner that will be hardly visible to any Anoka City residents, much like the building today. Yes, there have been certain one-off incidents that do pop up from time to time, but generally speaking, I'm willing to bet that most Anoka City residents aren't even certain where the jail is, given how nondescript the building is, and certainly to the other citizens in Anoka County. I respect Commissioner Meisner's keeping an eye on the cost. You know, I'm a taxpayer too, and I'm not excited about a bond being any bigger than it needs to be for a jail facility either. So, but I'm open to questions. I don't know, I apologize for meandering a little bit here, but if there's something specific you want to shoot me a question about, please do.
Thank you, Sheriff. Commissioner, I have two questions. Did you want to ask a question of the sheriff?
Go ahead.
Okay. I had Commissioner Reinert, and then Commissioner Jepson, then Commissioner Breasted.
Yeah, so process is important, so is honesty. There are people up here saying that this doesn't have anything to do with design, and I'll read again. This approves the location in the city of Anoka between 3rd and 4th Avenue as referred above, and the proposed design concept of the jail facilities presented by Wald Architects. It does include design. So, and for this same person to use the word disingenuous about the resolution today, it's disingenuous for us not to support it when we talked about it. Again, I just got it last night. I read it last night. What's disingenuous is that kind of dishonest and misleading talk.
Commissioner Jepson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I want to get to a yes. I really do. We need to. It's time. Thank you for speaking, Sheriff. I do appreciate it. During our city and county meeting, I think in December at Greenhaven, I asked the city point blank, what would you be okay with? What is your number one priority? And the number one priority was Van Buren. So to request something to be removed from a resolution that adds redundancy as confirmed by the county attorney, I think that's a reasonable request. I think that's a reasonable way to get to a yes, as well as the federal agencies. So I'm just really asking my colleagues to support that. While not supporting that, and me voting no on the resolution, we are knowingly going to incur attorney's fees. We are knowingly going to incur significant delays. And that is also something that I am not willing and that we shouldn't consider. If you're so frustrated, and I know you are, that this is slowing down so much and stopping and delays, this is a way to move forward.
This, Commissioner Jepson brings us back to sort of the point in the process we're at, so thanks for saying that. She made a motion, it would require a second, and then would proceed to a vote on the amendment.
Second.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, please.
Okay.
Can she take that back? So yes, so I apologize, I did a word search, and at the very end, there's a final decision, the very last line of be it further resolved. So move forward with permit plan submissions to the city for approval, period. So removing as well the request to vacate Van Buren Street.
Okay, so at the end of that B, the last B, it further resolved, you're removing as well as the request to vacate Van Buren Street.
Correct.
So it's ends with permit/plan submissions to the city for approval, period.
Correct.
Okay. And before I go to Commissioner Breasted, I'm going to ask for a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Commissioner Breasted.
I was just going to say, I can offer my resolution with those changes is what I was going to say.
Okay.
So, but now we're already down the path
Sure.
with the,
So that does sound like a friendly amendment. I think you could do it either way. It could be a friendly amendment from Commissioner Brasted, or we could vote so we know where everyone is on that.
So Commissioner Brassad has accepted that as a friendly amendment.
I have.
All right, yes, Commissioner Schulte.
So I'm sorry, but I just want to be totally clear. That includes the first two changes that Commissioner Jepson had, plus the third one. That's basically the last line of the, okay, thank you.
Correct.
Commissioner Schulte.
Mr. Chair, I will be supporting the amendment as presented and amended, but I do have a question for the attorney. This doesn't preclude the county at any point from going to the city and requesting to vacate Van Buren. This just takes it out of the resolution.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yep, okay. All right, Commissioner Reiner.
A quick question for the attorney too. So does this set precedent then that we can add things to our agenda in under 24 hours going forward from today?
That's a process question. There's nothing illegal about that or unlawful or inherently wrong about that. It's how this board wants to operate as a board.
Well, because up until now, we needed a 3-day notice.
Well, it has been shown and proven that we have had things. Usually they came from committee meetings because of delays or whatever. One of the issues that I had regarding that, and that goes back to when I first started as the chair, was asking why we have management committee on the day before, on the same day of the regular board meetings. We should move that away so we don't have those situations that sometimes occur where we see, okay, we move something from there, here, in a matter of minutes. Which I still think we should probably do. And I think maybe that's a discussion that we'll have to have for process going forward, because obviously that's been going on for some time.
So follow up then, the answer is yes. We can add things to the agenda minutes before a meeting, correct?
I think that's technically true.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So if there,
But can I
Yes,
just,
go ahead.
but that's different than asking whether that's a good idea or
Mm-hmm.
whether this board wants to support operating that way.
No, I think that's completely opposite of transparent.
yeah,
And not allowing the public to see what we're going to actually be voting on. And in the case of spending $250 million, kind of important to give public notice.
yeah. Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that is spelled out in our rules of engagement that we pass at our first meeting every year, that if you want to add something to the agenda, it has to be in a written form of a resolution, it has to be on the table and back for the public, and it has to be handed out to all the commissioners in writing prior to the meeting. So it's not something you just willy-nilly add, it all has to be documented and written, and there's a process for it. And we have been doing additional agendas, as Commissioner Brasted pointed out, we've done 5 already this year, and they're done less than 24 hours or 24 hours prior to the meeting. So this isn't an anomaly.
All right, so we have the resolution before us with the changes that were a friendly amendment to this. And without further discussion, again, I would have preferred and probably would have supported and might support this as we move forward. I would have preferred that we would have given this on our regular agenda, that it would not have shown up only 24 hours before. And that will be something that I'll continue to deal with and work with to make sure that these things don't occur this way, because it is about transparency and it is about making sure that we're doing those things. The due diligence regarding the current legislative study that's going on, I think is important, so we'll keep our eyes closely on that to see if anything comes out of the DOC to say that there are opportunities for changes as to how we function in the jails. This is a legislative proposal this was voted on by the legislature to have this study, and it was not just about consolidation of jails. They spell out all of the different facts that they had in here that they wanted to look at, which included alternatives to incarceration. In Anoka County, we do a lot of that. We have a lot of alternatives to incarceration with our parole team. They're always working on different ideas on how to take care of those situations, reducing some of the need in the jail for a number of reasons, and it's good policy to do that. So I applaud our team for being a leader in Dylan Workington's team. So, and they're always doing that, so I applaud that. But yes, the jail consolidation could be an issue that we're not aware of that might come out of here. So we better be prepared that in case it does, because that could change the way some of these things do. Did you have a last question, Commissioner Brassad?
Yeah, thank you. And just a reminder that our process, we need to build a parking ramp. We need to take an existing parking ramp down before we even start on a jail. So the walls aren't going to be put up tomorrow on the new jail. This is just getting us off the starting line to start the process. So I'm glad we're here.
Thank you, Commissioner Brassad. All right, so we have a vote, and I think we'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
No.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye,
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
and that passes. This is I'll call the end of the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for all of the information, and we're closed.